When did they come to America?
My brother Ben knew. I think it's in New York or something, but you would look. I don't know.
So none of their children were born in Europe. Were they married
Yes,
here or were they married in
no,
Europe?
No. My sister was born in Europe.
Anne?
My sister Anne was born in Europe.
Okay.
And my mother had a son,
Sam.
I was told, by the name of Henry, but he had passed away as a child. And I don't know.
So Anne was
Your mom was
the oldest that I knew.
Anne was 10 years older than me. I was her flower girl at her wedding.
So if Anne, so you were born in 1915, so she was born in 1905.
I guess so.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So if she was born in Europe.
She was born
in Europe. In
But she
1905.
But she was a little girl.
My father was born in 1908. So they must have come in
on the same boat.
No, in 19
7 or 6.
7
6.
6, but if Henry died there, was Henry older than Anne or younger?
Who?
Henry. Was he older than Anne or younger?
I don't know. I have no idea.
But you don't think Henry was
family were in the bakery business.
Yeah, the Ailmans.
They were here in the States, and there was a big bakery in Garfield. There was another two on Market Street, 2nd Street at that time became Market Street, and they taught him how, and he worked for them, and then he opened up his own store. And I remember they had a horse and wagon, and my sister helped deliver bread. I don't know whether she drove the horse and wagon. I don't know.
My father told me he did deliveries also.
Oh, the boys got up at
and he had a broken leg.
What?
Once he had a broken leg, he said, in a cast, and he had to drive the truck with a broken leg, and you had to shift.
I never knew that.
He said he drove the shift truck with a broken leg when he had to make deliveries once.
So where was your father born?
In Passaic.
Already in Passaic.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So he was born 1908.
Yes, and Joe, and there was Sam, and there was my sister.
Philip, and Morris.
Philip and Morris and Lou.
And Louie, yeah.
Lou. They all lived at Morris.
And Harry lived with them.
Harry was my sister's son.
I know, but Harry was only 6 months younger than Lou.
That's right. All three of them were pregnant at the same time. The mother-in-law, the bride, and the group. They were all pregnant. Harry was 6 months.
6 months younger than Lou.
Yeah.
He told me a funny story once. Because I said, well, how come all the brothers had to stay and work in the bakery? How did you escape? Because he went to dental school in Philadelphia.
I know that.
He said, because I was the youngest at the table, and they would serve the chicken, and all I ever got was the wings.
That I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. My mother did some. All I knew was
he was the littlest one, though, but that's why.
Did your mother bake anything?
Yes.
What did she bake?
She would make strudel for her husband only.
Strudel?
Strudel.
Strudel for her husband.
Yeah. That hid away from everybody so that he could have.
Oh, so only for him.
For him. And the coffee cake were very, very good, like the Russian or whatever coffee
Russian
cake.
coffee. Did she make
every Friday?
Yeah. With yeast or?
And her own challah, she would always bake.
Wow.
And the boys got up early in the morning to help pack the bread and to be delivered. And they had to go to school. Joe went to school in the Oranges, and
So who did the baking at night so that the bread would be ready for?
Bakers. We
They
had
hired
bakers.
bakers.
We had a bakery store. The first bakery store we had down the basement was the
Was the bakery itself.
bakery
The ovens?
oven and the supplies.
The
and
mixing
everything.
machines and everything for the
mixing machine
dough and everything.
And the cats.
And
Oh, the cats, yeah, to keep
Yeah.
the mice away, yeah. The cats.
And they took. What can I tell you? They did. They taught him how, and it was.
Didn't he own another property though, and they moved? They had two properties.
Oh, they had a property in Belleville,
No,
an
no.
apartment house.
Yeah, my father. But I mean, was the bakery always at 158 Market Street, or was it further?
Originally, it was at 7 Street.
7.
Before it became Market Street.
Right, number 7.
Number 7. Right near the rubber works.
Right, near the
Rubber
river.
works were behind
Down by-
the house.
Right, down by the
They
river.
used to throw rubber balls in the backyard.
There was a rubber company. It was down by the
But
Passaic
then
River.
next to it, my father was in partners with his Judge Weinberger's son. Judge Weinberger's father. They were in partners on those two buildings.
And my mother worked for Weinberger's law office.
And your mother worked for
As a
Weinberger's
secretary.
office.
And that's
And
where she
that's-
met my father, because
And
he
that's where he met
clerked.
her.
He clerked
And
with
he-
Weinberger.
And she lived in Garfield and came to Passaic
Passaic
to work
to
for
work.
Weinberger.
Right,
And he clerked for Weinberger, and then he
that's where he met her.
And where did you meet your husband?
my husband.
Where did you meet him?
Where did you meet Carl?
I met him at a social party, and I didn't. Yeah, I went to a party and
With somebody
Pat-
else.
in
She went with
Patterson.
somebody else.
You went with somebody else?
what's that?
Did you go with somebody else?
Did I
Go to
To
the
the
party
party.
with somebody else?
to the party? At the first party, I knew the friends who invited me, and
Oh, I see. Right.
went to see them. And the second time I saw him, I'm trying to think.
He was a very handsome
I'm a little
man.
mixed up now.
That's okay. He was very.
He
they
was
were together and amazingly
Yeah.
beautiful.
He was a
couple.
very handsome man.
They both were.
So I didn't want to really bother with him.
I always
because
thought he looked like
I
Cary
thought
Grant.
He was interested in somebody else. But
Oh.
I spoke to him or whatever, and he called me the following Sunday or whatever it was. And I had gone for a date, and I said, I can't. I have blisters on back of my legs, feet, and I can't put shoes on. He said, well, I'll try it again. Meantime, I had gone out with the boys. It was a club called the ABCGs, a group of boys, and I went out with one of the fellas the day before. That's how I got the blisters, because I wore fresh new patent leather shoes, and I couldn't.
And they were too tight.
I couldn't
Yeah.
go out. And finally, I said, he called me again, and I was able to go out with him. And then from then on, we saw one another.
Wow.
And the other fellow, he became what did he become? A dentist, I think. But then when he had come back, he had asked me to go out with him again. And I said, I'm busy now.
It was okay. You did okay.
Whatever I did, I did it. I was very happy. We were both very happy.
Yeah.
How long did you date him?
Before you got married.
8 years, maybe more. I met him in 1932. And he was
She was 17.
1932, yeah.
You were 17.
17. And he also had just graduated. He had started law school. And he was called, he went to Dania before it became
Rutgers.
That was in North Bergen. And he used to go out with a group of fellas who went to school. They all got together, and they used to stop by my store, my mother's store, on the way or going.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, my mother always gave them a cake.
Yeah, she always gave everybody when when children came in with parents or anybody.
She's given them a
She
quarter.
always gave them cookies and things. When they came in with their mother or father to buy some bakery, she always made sure the children had something in addition to what they were buying. She gave them cookies and things.
She always gave them a quarter.
The other thing I remember a lot from the bakery was that my father would get phone calls from Philip or from Morris or from somebody that Louis had fired the pastry chef or something. That they were fighting again. That Louis was always firing people.
Oh, yeah. Louis found his own route.
Louis was...
And he wanted the money for that. Whatever it was.
But Louis was always firing
he
people.
learned how to bake too.
Yeah.
They all learned. Lou learned. And,
but Morris and Philip had trouble controlling Louis. So they called my father. and he'd have to call Louis and deal with Lou because he was doing things that they didn't. But everybody worked in the bakery. My Aunt Ann worked in the bakery.
My father had this property next door, but he had a big yard. 2 properties.
Yes.
So he put a basketball
Net in there. Yeah.
and they played basketball. And all the
I think that
fellas used to
piece
go.
of property is still empty next to the building. It's still there. The basketball may not be there, but the net, but the
You wouldn't know this
We should go
property.
check the.
oh, this is not at 158.
This is at 7
Oh,
seconds.
07.
Yeah.
So anyway, let me tell you a story. I went online on the internet and I looked on the computer at a picture of the bakery building as it is today.
There was an empty property next
Next
door
to it. Yes, that's still there, empty.
Empty.
Anyway,
We bought that property.
yeah.
The boys bought the property for that.
So I looked in at the bakery, the old bakery building, which is now a grocery store.
That also had a bakery down the basement.
Yes, exactly.
With coal.
And all those behind it were all the delivery trucks, remember? But anyway, the bakery, on the step to go into the bakery store,
There was a step.
it says J. Weiss.
That's
Jonas
Jonas Weiss.
Weiss. It's still there.
You really? That I don't remember.
It's still there. I saw it on Google Maps.
You sent it to us. We saw the.
It's
We'll have to go over there and look at
It's
it.
still
Yes,
there.
We should.
It's a grocery store now, but it still says
I'm
on
sure
the
they speak
step.
Spanish. They'll let us in. We'll go
I
to the
haven't been
basement.
down there.
No, I haven't.
Yeah,
haven't
we'll
been
go
down
see the
there. I
others.
don't know what
Or whatever.
Like Moonstruck.
Well, you have
Yeah,
to
we'll
speak
try it.
Spanish to go there now.
No
I
problem.
know that.
See?
No problem. Let me
Sarah
tell
will
you, the minute they see a gringa looking like me, that's the real thing. They'll open the door.
Open the
Where
door.
would you like to go? What do you want to see? They'll show you.
But it's outside the step.
Yes, I saw the wise. That you
There's some
said.
more albums here. You're in one of them with Ben.
Which one?
With Jay.
Oh, really? In one of these?
I don't know which one. One is Barrels, I'll tell you. That's
Is this one?